live as much as you want, make your life to be beneficial. But our so much obsession for wealth, too much like for material being, which is ephemeral, is what is happening today. War against terrorism, who is a terror? Whenever they mention a terror, they are referring to you Muslims. If somebody in America or England take a bomb or a gun or whatever and go and shoot 60 children in school, they will say he's a gunman, he's insane, he is crazy, he has a history of lunatism. But if you, as a Muslim, you did the same thing, even if it is against oppression, they will say what? They will say you are a terror. It's a deliberately orchestrated point out in order to portray. We know who is a terror. We know terrorism in Islam. إنما جزاء الذين يحاربون الله ورسوله ويسعون في الأرض فسادا أن يقتلوا أو يصلبوا أو تقطع أيديهم وأرجلهم من خلاف أو ينفوا من الأرض إلى آية. We were told by the Quran what is terrorism and who is a terror and what to do with them. So nobody will come in 2001 and start telling you that we are terrorists, we are a terror. Forget about it. We know who is a terror. In fact, I don't know whether your knowledge has reached a level where you understand that America is practically involved in the establishment and sponsorship of Al-Qaeda. In fact, not only terrorism, today a new word is even coined in the West called Islamophobia. Do you know the meaning of Islamophobia? Do you know that? A hatred for Islam. Today in the Western world, there are now literatures appearing on Islamophobia. The like of populist leaders in Europe like Donald Trump and the rest, they are the ones championing all discord. So you face this challenge, and the reason why we say global agenda is your challenge because you may be global. Some of you may go to United Nations, World Bank, you may go to America, you may go to many parts of the world. You will encounter and experience this. So it's a challenge. You have to know how to navigate your way to live. Now, the challenge of the causes of social media. The challenge of the causes of social media is that social media now, if you ask me to mention 3 things that are now influential in the 21st century, I will mention social media as well. It is drastically changing our life. In fact, if you are not careful, social media will deprive you from the most important part of your productive life. You may spend hours in the social media, and most of the times, not either watching or listening or writing or debating is beneficial for your religion, but just what is irrelevant, a kind of knowledge that is trivial, miscellaneous, uncalled for. You will engage yourself in it. So therefore, what you do, the challenge of social media is that you must utilize it for the benefit of religion and for the benefit of your worldly importance and not for just ordinary ways. In fact, let me tell you what I used to do. If I don't have something important to do with the social media, either to check on my email for a new published paper or for an advert or in the WhatsApp groups for some important notice or some important discussion that affect my community also, I don't even subscribe for data. I just decide to raise my money. I only go there when I know I have something important to do. So it's a great challenge. And you have seen recently how Twitter wanted to, it's a social media, they wanted to divide this country, destabilize us during the NSAS protest, which is a clandestine, conspiratorial, organized movement to destabilize our society. Twitter is there busy supporting them. Something that they will not tolerate in their country. In fact, they even insult our president. Because if you insult our president, it's like you insult the whole country. That they don't even know who he is. Imagine a president of a country like Nigeria that you don't know who he is, just because you are a Twitter, just because you are a social media. We also have challenges of all matrimonial challenges of marriage. You know, religious clarity. I am not a religious scholar, so I need not go into matters that has to do with Islamic theological and jurisprudence interpretations. But religious clarity are overloading us with several discourses and explanations of the challenges of matrimonial relationships that we are presently encountering, right from the courtship to the real life in the marital house itself. All these are problems today. We made it so difficult. Materialism has entered there. And let me tell you, particularly my right section, the problem is the so-called ready-made are not ready-made. If you meet any ready-made, it's a ready-made for another woman for many years. It's going to be a ready-made for you with a caveat. You don't want to marry and settle with somebody whom you will struggle and become what you become. Now, in the last 100 years ago, who is alive in the whole of this country? Who is rich? None. Maybe few. Hidden somewhere upstairs, we don't know, they are 120 years or whatever they may be obtained. But most of us are not alive. So anyone that you see who is a president, a minister, a governor, a senator, who is a Dangote, who is an Abdul Samad or whatever, they were born tabula rasa. You are a student of psychology, you know what I mean, blank slate, empty. The only thing that they came to this world with is they know how to cry from day one. If you are not a dead that man, if you are a kurma, even that one you don't know how to do it. They struggle to become what they become. So build your relationship for the sake of Allah. If you build your relationship for the sake of Allah, He will love you. And when you go to the matrimonial home, develop patience, tolerance, invoke the causes of religion within it. You see our problem. Let me just make this point like this because I am not a cleric as I said. But one thing that I will only say here is that we refuse to take marriage as a religious worship. That is why we are suffering. Simple. If you take it as an act of ibadah, 80% of your problem there is solved. Now, economic challenges. We are faced with economic challenges, particularly the Muslim world. Because as I mentioned in the preamble, the global financial system is what? Is tyrannical. And the problem is that Islamic economic system is not a capitalist system, it's not a communist system. It's beyond that. It's an Islamic system, all-encompassing. But unfortunately, we are even being prevented from practicing it. And then, those that are preventing us from practicing it are now suddenly practicing it. Go and investigate who are now proliferating Islamic banks. In Japan today, in England, in Canada, in America, Islamic banks are coming up. So what are we waiting? Are we still waiting that our economic challenges should be solved by IMF or World Bank? So therefore, we have economic challenges. Our economy is not operating the way we want. Poverty, inequality, joblessness, corruption, and so many other things. We need to think it's a challenge. Then we also have political challenges. Political challenges in the sense that you all know now the system. You must democratize. But there is a retinue, a committee of argument, discussions and counter-discussions and argument and counter-argument on democracy and its position in Islam. Some even said that democracy itself emanated from Islam, our modern democracy. They justify it with some Quranic verses, وَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُ وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَظًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَمْ فَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ فَاعْفُ عَنْهُمْ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. Underline this, وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. Consultation. And in the other chapter in Surah Shura, وَالَّذِينَ اسْتَجَابُوا لِرَبِّهِمْ وَأَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُمْ. They said that, and not only that, Shura started all democracy during the era of Sayyidina Umar. When he was dying, he constituted a Shura committee of Usman bin Affan, Ali bin Abi Talib, Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas, Abdul Rahman bin Auf, Talhat bin Ubaydullah, Zubair bin Awwam, and then Abdullah bin Umar, his son, to be a witness in that committee, in order to elect who will be the next caliph democratically. So democracy is not an evil in Islam, but there is a point of departure. In Islam, that will allow for somebody who steals a goat and akuya to be sent to jail for 15 years, somebody who steals 10 billion naira to be going to court up and down, making plea by guess and even contesting for another position. Man-made law. So we have this challenge. And now we also have cultural challenges. So there are many. So now what are the opportunities? The opportunities number one is in the 21st century we have improved education. Now, with your mobile phone, you can carry libraries. Not library, libraries. Do you know Al-Shamila, Al-Maktabatu Shamila? An Islamic library containing more than 15,000 books. Classified into different sections, Quran, Quranic exegesis, Hadith, whatever, Asbabul Nuzul, what all sorts of different branches of Islamic knowledge. There in Shamila, you can carry on your disk phone that you see. There is what we call Z Library. I don't know if you have ever come across it. If you haven't, please kindly try and find it, Google it, and then register with your email. They will give you access to download at least 10 books per day. Z Library. It has over 88 million books in it. There is PDF drive, more than 90 million books in it. All you can carry it in your phone. Not only that, today, in your phone, either in Facebook page or your TikTok or YouTube, whatever, you can subscribe to various Islamic clerics, various Islamic pages. You will continue to watch wa'azi. Now, wa'azi that is now taking place in the stadium. If you like, you can now watch it here live as you are sitting. You don't even need to go there. So there is an improved education. So it is an opportunity for us to utilize to improve our overall life. Then, there is advancement of opportunities today. There is advancement of opportunities. There are scholarship opportunities, business opportunities, entrepreneurship opportunities, global opportunities, and so many opportunities unlike before. Once you graduated here, you may apply for a scholarship either in Commonwealth or in PTDM, or in whatever. You may get an opportunity for a scholarship in any country of the world. You can go there and advance yourself and get skills. You may use social media and your mobile phone in order to advertise your product and your business and your whatever is an opportunity. Now, entrepreneurship. There is an opportunity for entrepreneurship. I am not an entrepreneur. I am not an expert in it. So I cannot tell you much, but all that I know is, if you could remember that challenge of self-reliance, isn't it? Entrepreneurship can cater for that. I will advise you, never ever forever make a mistake of securing an office job, and then you just sit down and relax. When you go to office, maybe you even run back, not closing time, maybe by 2. You come to a majalisa and sit down in front of the TT. In wannan motar ya wuce a ce wannan 98 model ce, wannan 2013 model ne. What concerns you with a model? Please, don't have a majalisa. I don't have a majalisa. I don't have a majalisa. Ask anybody that knows me. If I am not into any program, right now as I am talking, immediately we finish this program, I am going back straight to my home. If I cannot read or I cannot write, if I am tired, I will find some leisure. Maybe I will watch some Islamic movies, Islamic history, whatever. But believe me, if you will close this hall and keep me here alone, all of you to live here and leave me alone, for the next 1 year, if you can give me food, my computer and my phone, I will survive, I am telling you. I am alone here inside this hall. Because what benefit will you get from a majalisa? When you sit down, immediately you stand up and leave the place, they will start gossiping about you. In fact, so one philosopher said that if you have 4 friends, if you know what the 3 are saying behind your back, you will never have a friend in your life. It may be true, but if you distance yourself and engage yourself in something productive, so I believe you should be able to make your life beneficial to the Ummah. Now, Global expansion. Global expansion is an opportunity. We are now in a borderless world, a world without border. You can establish connectivity. Please, if you don't have, start making. I have friends now all over the world, and I believe many of us that are sitting here, they have friends all over the world. You establish that connectivity, but make sure that it is a productive connectivity. Either a relationship of scholarship or a relationship of business. You can even establish a matrimonial relationship if you like. Somebody did that in Kano. Through a social media, he was able to woo some kind of God to come and marry him. So if you like, you can do the same thing, but the most important thing is make sure it is a beneficial and productive engagement. That collaboration will help you, because through that collaboration, one day you may find yourself somewhere where you are not expecting. Somebody, through establishing a good rapport, somebody may invite you from another country where there are more opportunities. So utilize the global opportunity. It's a borderless world. There are many Islamic countries today, don't even talk of the entire world, that are offering the opportunity for scholarship. Islamic University of Medina is still there. I know that there are some universities in Egypt, in Turkey, in Qatar, in Brunei, Dar es Salaam, in Malaysia, and so many others that are still providing the opportunity for scholarship, for further reading, or for even jobs sometimes. So please try and establish, utilize the opportunity of this borderless world, of this broken barrier, in order to establish a connectivity as an opportunity as Muslims. Now, religious morals. Religious morals is your opportunity. Wherever you go, you should still continue to display yourself as a moral Muslim. And you can defend your religion, no matter the period of an endeavor that you find yourself. Previously, we thought that it is only when you become a sheikh or when you study Islamic studies or Arabic that you will be able to help in building your religion. It's beyond that now. If you are an economist, in fact, Islamic economics and finance is enough to engage you throughout your life. If you are a political scientist, Islamic political thought is enough to engage you. If you are an educationist like you, Islamic education is enough to engage you. So Islamic morals, there are many Muslims, in fact, if not because of the dedicated and committed work of hard-working and erudite scholars, will not have the knowledge that we have concerning Islam. Imagine, I once, to borrow Sheikh Abdullah, remember to borrow the word of Sheikh Salih. He said that even Lampodio alone here and his family, they were able to write numerous books that we failed to read. They read and write, but we only read, we failed to read. So you need to work for Islam. If you look at, in fact, sometimes when I sit down, I used to think, what can I leave as a legacy for Islam? Because Islam has already left a legacy in me. To wake up in the morning and find yourself a Muslim, that alone is a legacy. The entire blessing in this life, you have gotten that. Imagine if Allah wished, today you will not be a Muslim, you will be a pagan or an infidel. Imagine the lazzat al-iman, the happiness that you used to feel when you are doing some Islamic rituals, like Salah, like Azmi, like Zakat. And imagine so many things. Now, if to say that God didn't bestow you with this mercy, you will not be a Muslim. So sometimes I used to think that Islam has done its own part on me. So what can I do for Islam in return? And even in contemporary times, if you see the way some Muslims, look at people like Zakir Naik, for example. Look at Harun Yahya. Harun Yahya alone, single-handedly, was able to destroy Darwinism and Marxism scientifically. If we talk, they will say you are not scientist, but he, as a scientist, he alone, he wrote more than 200 books, concurrent and factual books. So sometimes when I see the like of this one, or Zakir Naik, Since the inception of the da'wah of Zakir Naik to date, we have never seen a situation whereby he is defeated by any religion in this world. Imagine, they are Muslims doing this to Islam, so we challenge ourselves. We have an opportunity to, you can be Zakir Naik of tomorrow, you can be Harun Yahya of tomorrow, you can be the late Dr. Ahmad Biyuki of tomorrow. Envy them, be jealous of them, desire to be like them, do something like them, do something that people will continue after you are alive to look at you. Now, democratic values of civil society is an opportunity for us. Yeah, we are in a democracy, isn't it? And in democracy, there are some values: freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of organization, establishment of civil society. So we establish as much civil societies as we wish. Islamic, it is allowed in the Nigerian constitution to establish faith-based civil societies. You can establish, even MSSN is a civil society. So if you like, you can establish an Islamic organization for the Da'wah movement, an Islamic organization for the education of young people, several other things. We have many opportunities as graduate Muslims that we can show what we have to do. Now, skills. We have opportunity for skills. Now we are in the 21st century. I think we have mentioned that no government is rich enough to give all of us jobs. No government is rich enough to give all of us the basic needs. So what do we need to do? To build skills. If you don't even want to go to a farm because you have a snake phobia like me, or simply because maybe you feel that it's a very difficult venture, you prepare an easy one. There are easy ones to do skills today. You can even sit down just formatting and making some input and other things in the phones. We are in the world of smartphones. People will pay you. You can learn the skill of repairing smartphones. We are in the world of smartphones, and then, you know, most of us use these Chinese toys. They are not qualitative and endurable. So now, so you can design, excel, or program a kind of a software that will result in millions of naira. It's a skill. So we are in a world impact. If you like, you go to Dr. Sani, he will teach you a skill of modern poultry farming and fishery or whatever and all this. There are many skills, many businesses that if you like, you will not sweat. You will not squeeze your jumper, you will do it, and you will get profit and you will benefit. So you need to develop skills. As a Muslim, as a graduate, if you don't have a job but you have a skill, fine. Sometimes you just sit down and think. You come up with a skill. I know somebody in the initial days of Federal University of Kashan, he came up with a skill. He survived his study on that skill. Do you know what he used to do? Since there was no bank in those days in the university, and sometimes, you know, people cannot be traveling to GOMBE in order to get money from ATM. He established a POS, even before the POS then. You know his type of POS? Okay, if you need 10,000 naira, you will give me 500 naira as my transportation fee. Now I will go and pay 10,000 naira for you. If you need 20,000 naira, you will give me 500 naira. So through this, you will gather like 50 ATMs. Then, he used to have his money there in the school. Okay, you 10,000, he will give you 20,000 naira. Then he can make like 5,000, 10,000 naira. Even before the emergence of POS. Yes. So, finally, community engagement, community development. Please, you will never grow as a Muslim in your post-graduation. Your community is not waiting for what you have. Will you just go and tell them that I passed Mass 101, Psychology 101, that they don't care about all this, please? Never mind. No, in fact, when you go for an interview, nobody will ask you, what is B.F. Skinner's theory? Or what is Ibn Pablo's theory? Or any theory of education? Or nobody will ask you this in an interview, except in some occasional circumstances. they will ask you of your skills and community engagement. So when you go to your community, show to the community what you have and what you can do. Please engage yourself. All these your leaders that you are seeing sitting here, they have a long and a prolonged years of experience with community engagement, and this community engagement is not for profit. Most of the activities that we are doing in the community are not for profit, and as graduates we are expected to do that. So these are some of the opportunities, and with this, I hope and pray may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and open the room of opportunity for the graduates. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make your challenges surmountable. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the certificate acquired. May Allah bless our story and channel it toward the benefit of the Ummah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless this organization, MSSN. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless FCE, GOMBE, the scholars that are here, the youth, and all over our generation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala restore peaceful harmony and coexistence in our state and the country in general. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide our leaders to do the right things. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
التكبير. Jazakallahu khairan. You have actually benefited from the wealth of your experience. We pray may Allah increase you in knowledge and in iman as well. Next thing is the agenda that we have skipped. And I will handle the mic to the chairman of the occasion in order to recognize the dignitaries here present.
Assalamu alaikum once again. No, rather, it cannot be skipped, but sincerely speaking, now is being the right time to do that. However, I wish to recognize the parents of the college registrar in person of Umar Bello Matole, and who is here with us. And also next to him, though introduced but not in full capacity, that's Dr. Tijani Aminu. As I told you, is the grandfather of the students of this college. Not only that, currently he's wearing 2 caps. He's here as the representative of the college provost and also the dean student affairs, because this issue, or rather this occasion, is for the students. That's why we say MSSN. That's why, that's the Muslim Student Society of Nigeria, FCE chapter. So therefore, he's going to play 2 roles, being the dean student affairs and equally the representative of the college provost. And next to him, we have, as I said, Dr. Awal Garba from the School of Business Studies of the college. We also have Malam Haruna Simpa, also introduced, but still from the School of Business Studies. And also we have Malam Abdullah Yerima, also from the School of Science in the college. And then if by myself already the speakers have been introduced, we don't need to introduce again. So next to them, we have Mr. Malam Tamiru Okebero is also